Alright, what's good everybody? It's Spike, and I am now officially a two-time Gen 9 Pokemon Draft League champion. Let's talk about it. Just as a quick preface, I was planning to make a video like this for my first championship run last year, but unfortunately Showdown had the whole replay wipe thing before I could start that video. Thankfully, we are here once again, and I had to get on this ASAP. In this particular league, we had 120 points to draft 10 to 11 Mons. I knew I wanted to build around a Gen 9 Mon I had never used in draft before, and I decided on Iron Valiant and 19 points. And this was the team I drafted initially. I followed up Valiant with Scizor and Slowbro, who I think are very complementary pieces for Valiant, with Scizor being able to draw on Mons Val can take advantage of, and Slowbro being able to provide Future Sight support while pivoting in and out of the Mons that like to switch into both it and Val. Sinistcha was a Mon I felt was strangely undervalued in this league at 8 points, so I took it with my 4th pick with the intention of making it a Terra Cap. This particular league was mid to low tier free Terra with Terra Preview and 2 Terra Captains. Sinistcha is extremely strong with Terra, so that decision was a no-brainer for me. I took Lando next, and we all know what Lando does, man. It's just too versatile, and it is, of course, able to take on the poison types that give Valiant some issues. I then took Heliolisk as an electric type with some good defensive utility with its ability Dry Skin, and then Hydreigon, who not only was it one of the few dragon types left at that point, but it was a Mon that gave me a dark type. To round out my draft, I took Magmortar, Diancie, and Clodsire. Magmortar was just a budget fire type. Diancie was a great flying resist, considering Heliolisk is not a very reliable flying resist. And as for Claude, I took it with the intention of making it my 2nd Terra Captain. In a free Terra League, you sometimes just don't know what to expect from offensive Terra Captains, so Claude would pretty much be my equalizer with its really good defensive profile, as long as I chose the right Terra type and abilities for it each week. So yeah, that was the team. Admittedly, it wasn't the strongest team I ever drafted, but it had something that I really like in a team, and that was reliability. In the first game, I played Snapdragon Omega, a former champion of the league who drafted a very interesting rain team. I will include the replays to all the regular season games in the description, as I'll only be going in depth with the playoff games. This game was extremely difficult as I was completely underprepped for a Terra Ground Iron Jugglist. I did also misplay a couple times in the game, and I had a chance to win it all with Clodsire at the end, only to be caught off guard by a surprise encore from Snap Screamtail. I literally got 6-0'd by Jug, and it was a very tough start to the season. So after this game, I knew I wanted 3 things for my team: a more bulky electric type, a spinner, and a no-nonsense wall breaker. For the bulky electric type, I turned to Bellibolt, a Mon that I had drafted and used alongside a high tier fighting type before, and a Mon I knew I could just count on. For the spinner, I went with Delmise, who I had also used before alongside Bellibolt. As for the breaker, I kind of needed a normal type, so I went with Exploud, who is a no-nonsense breaker with the ability to hit ghost types with its Boom Burst, thanks to one of the best abilities in the game, Scrappy. I dropped Sinistcha and Heliolisk to get these 3, and Bellibolt became Sinistcha's replacement as Terra Cap. Game 2 was a bounce back game in every way, and it was a much more straightforward and quick game. I took advantage of the fact that Rotom Wash couldn't really do much to water absorb Claude. Got a lot of mileage out of Nasty Plot Hydreigon, which had a very fantastic matchup. And then I finished things off with my Val Scizor 1-2 punch. Very solid game all around. Game 3 was the absolute hardest game, as my opponent had Hazard Stack with Goldango and Zamazenta Crowned, who was legal in this league by the way. So I immediately knew it would be relatively tough for Valiant to really get shit off. In hindsight, I think Delmise would have probably been a solid bring, but I just couldn't find a way, like a really solid way to fit it into the team. But everything really worked out, as my Terra Poison Bellibolt really stole the show in this one and helped me pull out the win in an extremely grueling game. This is one of my all-time favorite drive games, and I definitely recommend checking out the replay. I might even do an analysis vid on this one. This one was incredible. Week 4, I got a forfeit win because my opponent dropped. It was a Sun matchup and I was actually looking forward to it to maybe unleash Magmortar, but hey, we take those. Week 5, I came back into it with a little bit of rust and my prep was really lacking. I got completely out prepped by my opponent, Psy Guy, and kind of just got packed by something very unexpected in a Terra Fire Leafeon. I was so hyper focused on Shampoo and Annihilate that I completely just disregarded the Terra Captain Leafeon, and yeah, I just got packed, not much to say there. With the transaction deadline coming up at the end of week 6, I made a pretty dumb trade after this week. Just looking back at it, I traded Exploud away for Kangaskhan. Exploud never saw the field, and I kinda liked Kangaskhan as a Swiss Army knife type of mon, with the ability to work offensively as a trapper and as a defensive wish passer. What I didn't realize at the time was that my team was lacking in immediate offense, and Kangaskhan just isn't the strongest guy ever. Things worked out, but yeah, I really do think it was a dumb trade. Just looking back at it, like, it was really dumb. My week 6 game was pretty much just a Scarf Landorus and Iron Valiant masterpiece. It came down to the wire, but those two were able to get it done for me, and I improved to 4-2 on the season. Let's keep it rolling. In week 7, I wasn't so fortunate. I got absolutely smashed by my opponent's Mega Blastoise while getting greedy with my best answer to it, which was Bellybolt. Bellybolt was my best answer because I wasn't running Water Absorb on Claude, fearing Iron Crown, Terapagos, and Serperior, 3 very deadly setup threats on my opponent's team. My Claude was also poorly prepped as it was pretty much unable to deal with my opponent's Crobat in the endgame. Overall, just a very bad showing, but we move on. I finished the season with a win week 8. Not the prettiest win, as I made a big misplay with my Delmise against his Corv, and I almost got smashed by Substitute Mega Zam in the long run. But you know, it was still a win to end the season 5-3, and most importantly, in playoffs. In round 1 of the playoffs, I had a rematch with my week 1 opponent, Snapdragon Omega. I knew things would be much different this time because I had the mons the week 1 game prompted me to get. This game would start with Bellybolt, and I was running a very standard set with one catch, T-Wave over Toxic. I needed something to punish Archaludon with, and besides Soak, I think T-Wave was my best bet. It's not only more consistent than Soak, but it's just more valuable to the rest of the team. After making the Bellybolt set, I had a very interesting idea. I noticed Snap's team was very weak to Ghost, especially if Iron Juggless opted to Terra. So I had the idea of going for a Hex-based offensive game plan, considering my defensive pivots really love spreading status. Iron Valiant would be the perfect mon to execute that game plan, considering its main stab combo threatens Jugulus and forces it to Terra. The main problem I had last time was that I was running a weird stall-breaking taunt Valiant, so I went with Specs this time around, which would be much more immediately threatening. Specs Val with Hex, Moonblast, T-Bolt, and Psyshock pretty much gave me everything I needed to break Snap's team. I brought the same SD Scizor, which pretty much beats everything besides Pelipper after an SD. Just a classic set that gets down to business, nothing special there, but I did consider Natural Gift Electric over Knock, but just decided on Knock just for the overall value. Following Scizor, I slotted in Delmise, who would continue that Hex-based offense as a more bulky Hexer. Delmise also gave me something very important as a spinner and spin blocker to take on Fortress. It could also help to threaten a bunch of mons on Snap's team, with Screamtail being the most notable. And obviously I couldn't run Poltergeist because it's pretty much useless when combined with knockoff users, so this Hex game plan just happened to fit perfectly. Slowbro of course was a must as a very useful pivot against Rain. I ran Scald and T-Wave to spread status, with Archaludon and Screamtail being key targets and Psychic Noise to prevent Wish Passing. Cloudtire was the final mon I brought to round out my team, and I ran Yawn instead of Toxic because not only does it work on Archaludon, but it could potentially force a lot of switches and synergize very nicely with Spikes. After I had all 6 mons, I had the idea to run Terra Normal on both Belly and Claude because Snap's team had another fatal flaw. That flaw was the lack of a fighting type. I knew Snap wouldn't be running Body Press on Arch since it makes no sense versus my team, so this was just the perfect opportunity for Terra Normal. It just allows both mons to pretty much wall every single mon on Snap's team if needed, and I really just spent a lot of time deciding my Terras before I had this idea, and it was definitely a very huge epiphany. Alright, playoff round 1. This is the rematch with Snapdragon Omega. They pretty much brought the same exact team from week 1 and replaced Overpawn and Iron Jugglist. I was actually expecting one of those two to get replaced with one of these two. I'm actually surprised. I was actually surprised to see Blastoise, but his Blastoise was actually Terra Dragon, and I lead Belly Bowl because it leads phenomenally against his entire team. Archaldon gets T-Wave, everything else gets Volsperson. It's pretty nasty, but he does reveal, or rather the Terra preview reveals that this is a Terra Dragon Blastoise, and Snap is just going to go ahead and Terra immediately and hit me with a Toxic. And I expected to Terra immediately, which is why I T-Waved instead of Volt Switch for max value, because the game plan is to get everything status. So my Valiant and my Delmise can just spam Hex. So I T-Wave immediately, expecting to Terra immediately. Get up out of there. I go Slowbro for, I think, just a scout. I was just scouting what he was gonna do. And then I go Claude. Wait, what did I go Slowbro? I actually don't understand that. Maybe I doubled into Claude expecting a switch, possibly, but he really has no reason to switch, so I understand. He's probably trying to like Toxic my Slowbro as well. He goes Fortress here, of course, pretty much the same thing as last time. Yeah, these two kind of just stalemate pretty much. Yeah, we're just gonna get our spikes up, but this time, the difference this time is that I do have a spin blocker, so I just go into that immediately. He's gonna get up another spike, and I just spin for free because there's literally no spin blocker. He has Toxic on this too. This guy's a nasty, nasty dude. I get the spin off, and that spike is gone. And I go Scizor here, just position it. Cause yeah, it scares him out every time. Now, if I had the natural gift electric, this shit is dead immediately. I really considered that set, but I just went for consistency. Knock is still pretty good on Pelly, even though I don't have rocks if I recall correctly, but it's still pretty good. He's just gonna roost forever. I go Slowbro because he can't really do anything. It's a U-turn. What do I do? I T-Wave expecting Arch, I think. Then he gets parried again. The paras. Actually, I'm not gonna say nothing. Just keep watching. Just keep watching. This guy's Toxic. It is what it is. I'm just trying to stop him from healing, I guess. This is like a really bad play. I'm just chipping him down, I guess. But it's whatever. It's whatever. Just chipping him down. So hopefully in the future Hex can kill. He is Rain Dish plus lefties. So yeah, Hex does a decent chunk. He is Ice Beam. He does reveal the Ice Beam. Hold on, let me slow this down. Alright, there we go. This should be good, I think. Alright. So Ice Beam again, and I get frozen, and yeah, that is the risk you run when you stay in, or when you take ice moves like that. You do run the risk. 10% is still greater than 0. And freeze is just cheap. So yeah, I get frozen, and there goes my spin blocker. There goes, you know, a pretty good answer to like half his team. Yeah, this right here, I'm thinking like, damn, I just lost. I'm thinking I really just lost this game. But yeah, I'm just gonna switch out. Don't want to give him any momentum or whatever. Claude is a pretty decent like guy for everybody, pretty much. Just gonna get a spike up, and he's probably gonna go Fortress. Yep. Should get a spike up, right? Or do I try to poison? Okay, I get a spike up. I don't have Toxic on this, do I? I have Yawn. Okay. This comes back in, and my spin blocker is dead, but I still have to go into it because I don't want him to just spin for free. Or he cooks Ice Spinner. I did expect that. And yeah, I just kind of have to give this thing up. Because he's not waking up. I try to wake up, but yeah, he's not waking up. So from here, I think I go Belly. Interesting. So yeah, he's just gonna spin for free, and there's not much I can do. But I at least T-Wave this so I can Hex it later. So you know, not all is lost. You know, this is the importance. You just, no matter what, you just gotta stick to your game plan. You just have to stick to your game plan, no matter how bad the game is going. Stick to your game plan. Obviously, you have to adjust, you know, when things don't go as planned, but still, like, your main goal should always be to stick to your game plan, because that is your end game. That is how you win the game. All right, so I volt switch here, and what does he click? Probably spin. Probably try to get these things off. Okay, this is a little too slow. Let me go back to normal. So yeah, the spikes are gone. So like, yeah, now it's like really cooked. It's looking really cooked for me. But I scald here, get the burn, which is awesome, which is what I wanted. He doesn't go Blastoise, which would have been, which makes sense because the psychic noise kind of just shuts that down. But he goes this, gets burn, which is a godsend play or godsend occurrence for me. Yeah, Scizor just comes in for free on this. He's gonna go Pelipper here, because like I said, Pelipper is the literal only thing keeping Scizor from winning this game immediately. Yeah, he's just gonna go into it SD, because in case he does some other thing, probably gonna Hurricane, because he's very scared of Scizor. He knows Scizor will destroy him. That's why he Hurricane right there. So yeah, he gets up out. I TP, yep. Belly comes in. I think I go Belly to heal. That's probably what I do right here. Yep. And then he gets rocks up. So yeah, it's looking really, really cooked for your boy. But obviously, if you see the title, you know I won this game. So here we go. I'm gonna get right into it, because I'm thinking, okay, I gotta get active. I gotta get really, really active. Everybody is statused pretty much. So this is a really interesting turn, because he actually said in the chat that he was like thinking I was baiting him into hitting me for like weakness policy or something. So I'm packing T-Bolt. Specs T-Bolt. I'm Specs and I'm packing T-Bolt. I'm packing T-Bolt, but he goes Pelipper, which is like, what? This, I scratched my head at this play, because what if I click T-Bolt, you know? Or what if I CM'd and I was CM3 attack with T-Bolt? Why would you go this? If I was CM3 attack, I probably just won immediately, because he switched. But whatever. I'm clicking Hex here because I'm trying to destroy Screen Tail, and Pelipper actually takes pretty good damage, 41, but of course the Wish heals him up. So it's just whatever. He doubles into Arch, and I think I immediately try to T-Wave. No, I switch, because I'm probably dead to like Draco or something. Sub. Okay, so he's sub. I actually forgot about this, but yeah, he is sub. Doesn't really matter. I know I can take an EQ. So I kind of just, that was like a scouting turn. I didn't want to Terra immediately, but now I Terra. Okay, because if you're EQ, you're probably not body press, because that's just how it works. So I see his EQS, so I think it's probably safe to just Terra normal. If he clicked like Draco or something, Draco Flash Cannon probably killed me from that range. I'm not 100% sure. Probably did kill me. I don't know though. Draco definitely killed me though. But he EQs again, and the Terra normal is enough to just keep my goat alive. And yeah, we're just gonna walk out of here. He leaves, so yeah, he's 100% not body press. And this guy comes back in because Claude just cannot touch this. So I go Slowbro, get a little bit of regen, and TP. I think that's probably what I do right here. Oh, I Scald. Huh. Why did I Scald? Maybe expecting Arch, maybe. But Blastoise comes back in, and yeah, I just gotta give up my my guy. So at this point, it's looking really like, you're wondering, how do I win this game? Literally, how do I win this game? Like I literally have nothing going for me right now. But again, this is why those T-Waves were very, very important, because again, my game plan is to just spam Hex as much as possible. What do I click here? Moonblast? Because yeah, I know he's scared as fuck. So I click Moonblast, and yeah, that's dead. So this forces in Arch. I need a little bit of chip on this to just straight up kill with Moonblast. So I have to switch out there. 20. Okay, that Flash Cannon definitely didn't kill earlier. Spadef drop doesn't matter because unaware. And I yawn the Pelipper, so he's like forced to switch right here, so I can just recover, I think. He goes Manaphy. And okay, so there's some these turns right here were really, really pivotal to the rest of the game. This is why. I'm unaware he tail glows. I yawn. The timing of this yawn was perfect, right? Because the way yawn interacts with hydration is that because the rain goes away before yawn activates, the sleep from yawn activates, hydration doesn't work. So this is what happens here. The ice beams, of course, I take nothing. What he should have done right here is just switch, but yeah, he goes to sleep. He goes to sleep. He goes to sleep at the end of turn 44. The rain is still going, right? He's asleep. And then because hydration activates at the end of the turn, he doesn't wake up. I think that's what I meant to say. So hydration activates at the end of the turn, right? But the rain goes first. The rain goes first. So hydration goes after everything. So that's why hydration didn't activate. So he stays asleep. And this turn right here changed the game because it let me do all of this. I get to heal. I take a risk here. I volt switch. I mean, he can't really do anything. I break that and I go Val and just kill him. So I get a little fortunate with the 3-turn sleep, but yeah, this was just a huge sequence for me, like in the grand scheme of things. So just like that, I've evened it up, just like that. Yeah, but Snap in the chat was very, very frustrated. He was very, very frustrated. He had no idea like hydration worked like that. But yeah, someone did tell him that hydration is last in the order of events or whatever. But yeah, so now it's looking like, okay, maybe I can actually win this. Maybe. Flash cannon. I recover here. I should recover. Yep. I believe I just yawned this. But he U-turns. So yeah, this thing's back in. Oh, I spike up. Okay, not bad, not bad. Every chip on Fortress matters, so Spike is probably just the better play. So I go Scizor here because Screamtail can't touch me. He's gonna have to go Pelly. Yep. So that's obvious, so I just get Belly Bolt in for free. And I think right here I call the Archaludon and I T-Wave. This right here, this won the game for me. This turn right here absolutely won the game for me. Just a boss play. But like, it's not that crazy. It's not that crazy of a play because like he has to switch, but it's still like a very, very like game-winning play because I could have volt switched, right? I could have volt switched on this turn, but it gets me no value, right? It gets me absolutely no value because Screamtail and Fortress are both low and they're taking the spikes plus the volt switch, so he's not going into any of those. Even if he did, it really doesn't get me that much value. I guess I could go Val and like click Hex or something, but he just goes Pelipper and then it's like, okay, kind of cooked it. So I had to absolutely get this turn right because my belly is low. Slack is just too passive of a play. I'm trying to go for the win here. Slack is not the winning play. T-Wave was my only play right here. And yeah, I catch the Arch on the switch. And that is ball game. That is pretty much ball game. You'll see what happens here. I do get a little bit of help, but you'll see what happens. You'll see what happens. So Volt Switch, give him a stamina. No body press though, so we good. What does he do? Flash, okay. Yeah, this thing literally can't do anything to Claude. So yeah, he's gonna just keep trying. I yawn expecting like Pelipper to try to come in, but yeah. So that para is already doing work right here. Do I EQ? Okay, he actually switches now. Okay, so I think I EQ'd. I didn't EQ. Okay, so I'm really trying to catch Pelipper. I think what I was trying to do there was yawn to Pelipper and then go Belly Bolt on like the U-turn, so he just falls asleep and then the game is really over right there. All right, but yeah, he didn't bite on the bait, and right here I think I SD. He goes Pelipper. Okay, right. Yeah, that's like the only thing. This is the only thing stopping me from winning instantly. Like I said, so right here I'd go Claude because he's probably gonna Hurricane because he's very, very scared of Scizor, and I know that. Yeah, U-turn, pretty much just the same shit. And now this is probably gonna spin right here. I'm still trying to catch the, still trying to get it with a yawn, but probably should have recovered there. And then what happens here? He's probably gonna spin. Yep, my Scizor takes a little bit of chip, which is kind of not good for me in the long run. I knock again, because that's my only play. He's probably going to Hurricane or U-turn or Roost, one of those. Hurricane, yeah, he's very, very scared of Scizor, but yeah, Claude is going to go down here. It is what it is. So Claude goes down, I'm like, okay, I got to go Val right now. And then this turn, this is where everything changed. Like, there's no way I win this game if this turn does not go how it went. So I click Moonblast. He's scared of something. He's probably scared of like Aurasphere or something. So he goes Scream Tail. This right here was absolutely key to me winning this game. Him being scared of a potential Focus Blast. Or not Focus Blast. Aurasphere, whichever one. That is absolutely key to me winning this game. Right, because he's not gonna go. He's not gonna risk Pelipper because he's not gonna risk Pelipper's HP, right? So, because I'm pretty sure Hex has a chance to 2 KO on the switch from this range, so he's not gonna risk that. So he has to go Scream Tail, probably expecting either sacking it off or expecting Aurasphere, right? So now I'm able to 2 KO this. He can't switch on anything else. Yep, that's dead. So that's a big roadblock. And then this turn, this is the craziest turn I've ever experienced in draft, right? Moonblast. Boom, boom, para. That para does not happen if I didn't T-Wave this on the switch. If I didn't cash this on the switch with T-Wave, that para does not have that chance to happen. And I probably don't win this game. So that's why that turn was very, very important. That's why sticking to the game plan is very, very important. And getting this paired was my absolute goal with this Belly Bolt set. And yeah, it paid off. And I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much just win from here. It's not over yet. I still have to deal with this Pelipper. But at this point, I can just brute force it with Scizor. I know Hurricane doesn't 2 KO me from this range, so keeping Scizor healthy really mattered in the end. I know Hurricane doesn't 2 KO me, or it has a chance to, so I go for the second SD, and yeah, 45. Yep, just knock, game over, GG. Holy crap, look at my health. GG. I somehow pulled this game off. Just not somehow. I actually think Snap made a lot of misplays in the end game. Like, for example, he could have went Fortress instead of risking the pair on Arch. But it is what it is. I just made more of the better play. Technically, I was just the better player. And, you know, we just got to take those and keep it pushing. In the semis, I had a rematch against Psy Guy, who pulled off a very, very big upset against the first seed in round 1. I was very confident I could beat him. I just had to, you know, not get 6-0 by Terrifier Leafeon. I pretty much brought the same exact team for this one, just with some tweaks. And Claude was the first one I loaded up, and it was pretty much just a standard set. But I actually made some mistakes with the set during prep. Initially, I had built it to help with Terra Leafeon, Champao, and 8. But somewhere along the line, I made it more of an all-purpose defensive Mon. I initially was running Terra Poison, but I decided on Terra Dark last minute to completely shut down Latios. The mistakes I made were forgetting to tweak the EVs and forgetting to change the leftovers after changing my Terra type, but things worked out fortunately. The next Mon I loaded up was Scarf Iron Valiant, who just matched up extraordinarily well versus Stai's team. It beats Champao, beats Scarf Latios, tricks Feedy, beats Nihilego +1. It just looked like a big menace in this matchup. Last time I was running Specs with Vacuum Wave, but I just thought if I'm going to be forced to run Vacuum Wave to get the jump on Qian, I might as well just commit to it and run Scarf, which just seemed better overall. Slowbro was once again body press, except this time I ditched Future Sight and TP for Side Shock and CM to give it more of an offensive presence against Annihilate and Latios especially. Future Sight barely did much for me the first time, and boosted Psyshock was doing amazing damage to Lottie in the calc, so it just felt like a no-brainer to me. Delmaz would be my next Mon, and last time I ran a bandit set, but I went for a more defensive set this time around. I honestly forgot my reasoning for this, but I think it just had something to do with longevity. Scizor would be the next mon, and it was pretty much the same set as last time and the first playoff game. Break over CC to break Meowstic's screens, of course. And of course, Diancie would round out the team, and it was the same exact set as last time, just with one very crucial change. I decided last minute to drop Mystical Fire for spikes. I felt like Mystical Fire made 0 sense, since the only way I'm clicking it versus treads is by catching it on the switch. And if I want to punish a treads coming in, spikes plus a Delmas pivot would always do the trick. And of course, Moonblast plus spikes damage in the long run would also do the trick. I was also very confident Sai wouldn't be running Defog on Rotom or Lottie, and Vespiquen never comes, so if you're going to have a Defogger, it's going to be Feeny, just like last time, and if you're going to Defog on Feeny, you're pretty much just taking up a move slot and getting rid of your terrain for Delmas to potentially poison something. So Spikes just really gives me so much value versus Ape and Treads, and especially combined with Rocks and Delmas' spin blocking. Spoiler alert, but Sai also just opted to not bring Feeny for some reason, so everything really just worked out with this last minute decision. Alright, let's get into this. Playoff semifinals versus Sai Guy, also a rematch. Okay, so I lead Scizor because I just have an inkling he's not leading Rotom Heat, and Scizor leads pretty decently versus like stuff like Treads, Chen, etc, etc. Because I'm thinking he's probably gonna lead like Chen or Treads, thinking I'm gonna lead Claude. So I'm like, okay, Scizor is probably my lead here. He volt switches. What does he go into? He goes into Rotom, of course. I just knock because it's just a high value play. If he goes into Annihilate, I knock off whatever item he has. Sure, I give him the Rage Fist, but having Annihilate knocked is just very good. So he's gonna Pain Split here. This is just the usual interaction between Claude and like Rotom. Just this is a typical reaction. I mean interaction. I just poison him because I need this thing poisoned. Because that Rotom is a menace and it's going to be very annoying for me in the long run. I get burned, which is like whatever. I don't really need Claude to like do damage. I just needed to get the rocks up, poison stuff when it needs to. Yeah, obviously pivot into Slowbro, and then I revealed a CM here. He switches because he knows he cannot commit a Rage Fist at that like level. Latios comes in. I go into Diancie to scout what he wants to do, and because I don't want to get like tricked or something, because that's like really bad. So I just go into Diancie. If Diancie gets tricked, it's like whatever, because Diancie's my rocker. Is of course I'm not really looking at Diancie as like a win con. He goes into Chen. I go into Diancie, of course, to take the crunch. Predict that. He SDs here, which is very greedy, and I just kill him with Moonblast. Very, very greedy play. I'm not really sure what the idea behind that SD was. Yeah, I'm just not sure. Definitely a puzzling play, but hey, we'll take those. We'll take those. I'm surprised he actually died in Moonblast, but I guess Diancie's pretty strong. Of course, I go to Delmize here to spin block, and yeah, this one was just honestly over from the start. I don't think Sai was really prepared for this strategy. And yeah, he gets a crit on overheat, but he's not gonna kill with the next one, so I can just recover. Surely, actually, no. That was a mistake. I think he might have killed, maybe. Probably not. I'm not sure. But it was definitely a mistake to not try and go for it again. But yeah, so my Claude is gonna be out here to stay. It's here to stay basically. Yeah, see, this is why getting Rotom knocked was very important, because it's just taking the rocks every time. He's gonna Pain Split here. No, he actually overheats. Yes, so if he overheated again, he might have killed. I don't know. I actually have no idea. But yeah, this Rotom is just not doing much here. It's on a timer thanks to Toxic, so I can just keep spamming recover, to be honest. And he volt switch. He just gives up. So Rotom is pretty much dead at that point. I just recover. Yep. And he's probably gonna like Draco here. Yeah, I predict that again. Go Diancie. This Diancie was just a menace here. I'm really happy I actually switched into spikes last minute into this like hazard stacking strategy, because this pretty much changed the entire like matchup. Yeah, I just go into Delmise every single time. There's not much Treads can do besides knocking me off, and I don't think Psy Guy was running knock. Yeah, last move or EQ, so no knock. Huge mistake. I'm not really sure if Volt Switch does much for you, but hey. And then I reel a Brick Break Scissor because I know that Meowstic is gonna be coming. Yeah, those spikes just going to work on his Annihilate. It gets the Rage Fist, which is like whatever. He fire punches there. I didn't expect that. My Scissor is just gonna die. I go Val immediately, and yeah, this game is just over. Yeah, it was just over from the start. I don't think Psy Guy was really ready for what I was planning to do in this game. That spikes thing was just probably a game changer. Yeah, that was really a game changer. It was just a last minute change, and I was really proud of that change. Like, I think that was probably one of the smartest changes I've ever made last minute in draft. And yeah, the game just goes how you'd expect. Oh, actually, it was CM on this. I'm recording this after. I mean, not after. I'm recording this before I do the team breakdowns. So I actually forgot I was CM on this. But yeah, Diancie is pretty much just gonna win from here, pretty much. And yeah, that is the game. I'm off to finals. He actually said BG in the chat. Yeah, he was not very happy about this one, but yeah, we're on to the finals. In the finals, I matched up with Epic Toxie, the 3rd seed who finished 6-2 in the regular season. Now, this will be our first matchup, and I really like this matchup because it was much more straightforward than the other two, which featured gimmicky mons and playstyles. They did have a Terra Dirge, so I was essentially forced to bring Diancie in this one because it was my absolute best answer with Encore. The problem with running Encore was that I had to be faster than Dirge to lock it in, so I simply tweaked my speed EVs to creep Dirge. I also made it a little stronger to threaten big damage and good chip on a lot of my opponent's mods. Just with this set, I felt very comfortable dealing with Dirge. The next mod I loaded up was Bellybolt, who's pretty much just a very good defensive pivot in this matchup, with Toxic and Muddy Water to punish Thunderous and Lando on the switch. Static and Terra Fairy to deal with Meow and Gallade in a pinch. And yeah, just classic Belly. My favorite Scizor set in CB would be making its debut in these playoffs, and it's just classic. Again, Scizor just gets down to business. There really is not much to it. I followed up Scizor with Slowbro as an additional all-purpose defensive pivot with a Cobra Berry to take a potential knockoff from Mega Gallade. Psychic Noise to stop recovery attempts from Clef in particular. Again, a very simple set, and one thing you might notice is that I was able to just keep it fairly simple with how straightforward my opponent's team was. I opted for Scar Valiant with Trick to allow it to cripple a setup Clef and get the jump on Meowscarada. And to round out my team, I needed some kind of removal and a Volt Switch blocker, so Lando finally would be appearing in these playoffs after 2 fairly bad Lando matchups in the first 2 rounds. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, DDL Season 6 Finals, Epic Toxie. We have not played at all this season, so this is a completely new matchup like I said. They pretty much brought everything I expected. Yeah, there's like literally no surprises here. So yeah, let's get into it. I lead Lando. They lead Meow, which is, you know, Lando just a classic lead. I'm not trying to get triple Axled, so I just hard switch out in the Bellybolt to try and get a static. And they click Chilling Water, and right here I'm just like, huh? Like what? What did my Bellybolt just get hit by? Chilling Water? And a crit? Nah, this is not real. This is not real. So clicks Chilling Water. I have literally no explanation for that move set choice, but yeah, that's a thing. Clicks U-turn, no static, unfortunately. They might be pads. I don't know. I clicked Toxic here because I'm assuming they wouldn't want to get Volt switched on. They wouldn't want anything else to get Volt switched on. So I clicked Toxic immediately, expecting this to come in. And yeah, they clicked Gravity, and during prep I actually did notice, like in previous of their like replays, that they pretty much brought this set like every week. So I just found that pretty interesting. I don't usually look at like prep or not prep. I don't usually look at replays like for during prep, but it's finals, so you know I gotta do a little bit of that extra prep, you know. But yeah, they did bring this set every week, so like this really didn't surprise me. Almost every week, nearly every week they brought this set. So the cool thing about this is that I get to hit them for a big meaty EQ, which is huge. And here I go into slow bro trying just to pivot into it because they're gonna die to poison, and I get crit, and that is really bad because I need slow bro to kind of deal with pretty much everything like earthworm, glade, pivots into clef. Yeah, losing slow bro was like really bad. Losing slow bro to that crit was like horrible. So yeah, this earthworm comes in. I Terra Fairy immediately because I'm gonna need this thing to I Terra Fairy immediately because I'm gonna now need Belly Bolt to pivot into Glade if need be. Now that my slow bro died, so yeah, that is the explanation for the immediate Terra. They click sub, or no, they shed tail into this, and I go Dancy immediately to shut this thing down. Yeah, Torch Song. I'm surprised they didn't click like Terra Blast Grass because in the Terra preview I saw that they were Terra Grass. So I'm surprised they were probably going in for it here, considering they did Terra. But of course, Encore, that huge Encore comes into play here. Of course, I am EV'd to outspeed this at min speed or at neutral speed. So yeah, the Encore is gonna come into play. And I'm surprised they're not switching out here. They have a whole Earthworm in the back. I mean, I understand. They have Earthworm, they have Clef. They can definitely like just try and like switch into one of those. I think losing all this health on Skeletor is really not good for you. I click Rocks here because it's like, shit. I'm expecting them to want to switch out here. So that's why I rocked instead of like Moonblasting. And unfortunately, I predict wrong, and my Dancy's just gonna die there. I go to Scizor. The cool thing about them being Terra Grass is like now it's like, okay, this U-turn is gonna pretty much kill you every time. So yeah, nice Terra. All right, so Earthworm comes in, and I U-turn into Valiant because I know I can kill with Moonblast from his range, and there goes Earthworm. 4/4. The Clef comes in, and I go Lando here. I am expecting some kind of setup Clef, and yep, it is indeed a Cosmic Power Clef. I U-turn here into, I believe, Belly Bolt. Yep, I go Belly Bolt here just to kind of, I don't want to go Val immediately because one, that's like a big risk if they do choose to attack me, but I'm assuming they're Cosmic Power. They're probably not going to attack me, so I'm like, okay, let me just stall a little bit. I go into my Belly Bolt, which is, I believe, slower than this to get the slow Volt Switch off. Surely, yep, I get the slow Volt Switch off into Val. And what that Belly Bolt switch did was kind of like bluff a little bit that I'm not Scarfed. Because if I went to Val immediately, it's like, okay, it's very obvious this thing is Scarfed. So he'll probably like switch into something. I mean, he didn't really have a switch. To be honest, at this point in the game, he did not have a switch. Or they did not have a switch, so yeah, I just get the free trick. If they knew I was Scarfed, they would probably went Glade. That's like a really high IQ play though, going Glade. But the thing is that's exactly why I went like Belly Bolt. Just to kind of, it's like a little bit of a bluff, just kind of like it's like a mini bluff, you know, to not make it as obvious that I'm like Scarfed and I'm gonna trick you. So I tricked this, and yeah, that's pretty much the game. He clicks Charge Beam, and yeah, that's absolutely the game because from here I can just go Lando. If they clicked Stored Power, that would have been kind of bad for me. I think that's the set, right? Stored Power, Cosmic Power, or am I thinking of Mew? Does Clef even get Stored Power? I don't know. But yeah, they have to just switch here, so I just start spamming EQ because it's gonna do big damage to pretty much everything. He goes to Dirge, I just U-turn, and it dies. So yeah, going to this, I still do not get the statics. So here, do I Volt Switch or recover? I recover, okay. So yeah, this Clef is pretty much like useless now. So here, just spam U-turn every single time. And struggles. runs out of heals. At this point, the game is over. As soon as the Clef got tricked, the game was over. And yeah, the rest of the game is pretty much just gonna play out as you'd expect. Scizor just kind of kills everything. Yeah. That BP was actually kind of bad. Cause I was gonna let Dirge heal. That would have been not great. But they go for the Willow. And they're definitely gonna heal here. They should. They don't? Oh, they do. Okay. I was about to say. So they heal here, which is kind of bad. But I'm gonna get the slow volt switch off no matter what. Oh wait, I toxic. Okay, that's a fair play. That's a fair play. I still toxic here because these things. And then this Gallade reveals its sets, which is like, huh? Huh? I mean, you know, you could. I don't know. It's just tough. Honestly, one thing I realized is that my team, the defensive core is like just kind of annoying. So I do understand like some of the like overall like questionable like prep decisions from my opponents. Like my team, the defensive core is just really annoying. I'm running two defensive Terra Caps. Like it's kind of hard to kind of figure out, you know, what you want to do with your offensive threats versus my team, but it's I don't know, it's really not that hard. I finish off the Dirge, and yeah, that's pretty much gonna be it. I don't know. I feel like I just really locked in these playoffs and just kind of tapped into what my team was just really good at. I think I figured out how to run Val on my team. My team is more like a defensively oriented team, so I figured out how to run Valiant on this team, and yeah, I just locked in. The season was a little rough, but yeah, like I said, I just locked in. You know, sometimes you just gotta lock in, and that is pretty much it. That is how I became a two-time Gen 9 Pokemon Draft League champion. Yeah, definitely gonna be more to come. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. We out.